papa fie.
Hello there, welcome back here on the show, and good morning for joining us this morning. We really appreciate it, and thanks a lot. We're going to be going all the way till around 7, 8 o'clock thereabout. But of course, this is where you get to also share your thought with us on some of the major issues happening in the country, and you can do so on our WhatsApp line, and also on Facebook. We're streaming live. You can also just let us know what do you think about our topics? So we're going to be reading them here on the show. We say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for making it possible for us to have this conversation. Of course, it's the place you want to be. It's the place you want to grab some electronic appliances. And we're talking about refrigerators. We're talking about CCTV cameras. And of course, if you're looking forward to also getting some phones, and if you want to share, if you want to just give that, if you want to replace your phones, it's the place you need quality. And we're entreating you to come there. We have iPhones, we have Samsung, we have Nokia, and we're giving that out for Ghanaians to actually buy, because we believe in providing quality, and that's what we're saying. So those of you out there who also intend to monitor your environment, especially your offices and your homes, Franco Trading Enterprise has got some CCTV cameras for you, and it's the place you need to buy from. And give us a call, 0555-939-311, and speak to us. Don't forget that we are actually here to serve. And so customer service is top notch, and trust me, you would love it when you get there. All right, our website is www.francotrading.com, and don't pick any number on social media to speak to us or do business with us. Give us a call on the numbers that we have given you, or just download the app. It's the Franco Trading app. Once you have the app in your hands, you're good to go, and you can find all the information, all the branches, and any inquiries that you want to make. That's the place you can do so. All right, Franco Trading Enterprises still forms Papa Pafi. We're grateful this morning for making it possible for us to have this conversation. Of course, you also want to get in touch with us. Our WhatsApp line is active. Let me first of all go to the front pages of the newspapers like we do. I'll introduce my guest in the studio for you to also know who actually here today, and then we'll get into our major stories after the front pages of the various newspapers. This morning I'll be joined by the MPP communications team. I'll also be joined by the NDC communications team, and then A Plus would also be joining us this morning here on the show as well. But of course, you need to win some money, because we've got over $1 billion that we're giving away, and it's pretty simple. All you have to do is you just play as the quick cash and dial *281#, *281#. Now the option 7 is Joy Prime, and once you choose option 7, it gives you a prompt where you get to actually play, and so you can play from 5 cities to any amount that you so wish. The more you play, the more it increases your chances of winning. So please go ahead and play now. And today, I want to give as many as maybe 5 people, all right? Yeah, as many as 5 people. And so please just play. All you have to do is to just play. It's *281#, *281#, and you can play. Option is 7, which is Joy Prime, all right? You see other media houses, you know, which also belongs to us, but if you're watching Joy Prime right now, you have to play option 7, because this is where you can win the money from. You can't win the money from another channel, which also belongs to us. But if you want to win the money from here, you have to choose the option 7, and you can play over there and win. It's 5 cities and above, and lots of people have won already. We've seen the testimonies. Some are paying school fees, some are taking care of their rent, some are, you know, doing some party and all with the money, because really life is too short, you know, so sometimes you just have to have a little fun. It won't hurt, all right? So play. You get over 1,000 cities, 2,000 cities, 3,000 cities, and we've got all these monies that we're giving away here. And so please play. It's *281#, *281#. That's your magic number. Dial *281#, go to option 7, and you're good to go. It is all quick cash, and we've got the money. It's yours for grabs, and that's what it is. Now, a bit later, I'll be sharing with you some of the winners, and also maybe we'll just, do one draw here on this very segment. But we'll say a big thank you once again to Franco Trading Enterprise for making this segment possible. We're going to get to the front page of the various newspapers. I'm going to start off with the Daily Graphic. And this morning, Daily Graphic says that economic growth favors the rich. ISA demands income redistribution. That's on the front page of the Daily Graphic. And also, 2020 election violence, Shraj hands tied. Human rights body calls for expedited court cases and resist photocopying of Ghana card for transactions. Margins Group CEO says so. A graphic WFP hold technical stakeholders breakfast meeting today. Page 26 has got a story. You can read about it if you grab a copy of the daily graphic for today. Chief Justice launches small claims debt recovery courts, and that was launched yesterday, and it has the Chief Justice in attendance as well, and some other institutions that are into borrowing of money to individuals for businesses. Some monies have been actually taken and not returned for many years, and this would ensure that some of these issues are dealt with. Now, constant electricity supply, my priority, says Herbert Crapper, and that's also on energy. Daily Graphic reporting on the back page this morning. Now, away from that, let's take a look at the Daily Guide, and it says that national security justifies the 6 million Ghana cedis Boko budget. Page 3 has got a story on that, and I will preserve traditions, customs, says Baumia, as he pays homage to Odenho Kwafu Akoto III. Now, 2 archbishops jailed for contempt. That's also captured on the front page of the Daily Guide. Nana calls for Gulf of Guinea Commission review, and 450 MSMEs get EU-start support. That's also captured on the front page of the Daily Guide. And somewhere in the middle page, Stoneboy shines a Reggae Geo Festival, a musical to launch a high life competition, and ASOG elects new board of directors. That's also captured in the middle page of the Daily Guide. On some entertainment, BOG sanctions 245 businesses for issuing data checks, and 1 million youth to acquire digital skills for jobs. That's also captured by the Daily Guide today. Away from that, let's go to the Ghanaian Times. The Ghanaian Times this morning is reporting on issues, and it says that at Maiden Town Hall meeting in Accra, government touts economy recovery, says that despite challenges, economy grows by $20 billion US. Inflation drops from 54% in 2022 to 22% as of June 2024. And it's got the Finance Minister, Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam, captured over there. Now, the inside stories, we've got recruitment into security services. You can read about it as well. Uphold principles of founding fathers to propel national growth development, says Dr. Baumia. Election 2024 campaign, I will consider Kusago region, Mahama says so. And the government bans lease of public lands by public institutions, individuals. Page 11 has got the story on that, and it's got Abu Jinapo captured over there. At the back page, it says Techiman hosts NAFAC 2024, October 25th to the 31st. And, well, that's going to be where this year's National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFAC, will be held. And it's been launched in Accra yesterday. The inauguration had a 21-member planning committee who would steer the affairs of the festival. And I love NAFAC, and, you know, so if you're into all of these festivals and all of that, NAFAC has been around for years. And so just make sure that you're also there to support, and let's have a great festival. Away from that, the Ghanaian publisher is here. The Ghanaian publisher is here, and says the government disbursed 175 million Ghana cedis to MSMSEs. Fremont Paris says so. And Herbert Crapper told Abuadze Enclave. Guta, AGI, allowed Parliament over GSA law. And also, Akufo-Addo grows economy by $20 billion US, says the finance minister. And that will be the Ghanaian publisher this morning. And that'll be all for the front page of the various newspapers that we have today. And this morning, we're taking a look at some very major issues. Komenda Sugar Factory lease to Indian firm, Watco, by the trade minister. Residents actually stayed a protest against it next week. And we've got also some farmers, sugarcane farmers, very, very disturbed about the whole initiative, and also insisting that if the government actually made them start growing sugarcane because they were going to be used in feeding the factory, why then would they have to involve an Indian firm, which of course will be bringing the sugarcanes from outside of this country? And they are actually doing so against the will of the Ghana Police Service. Unless there is an injunction by the court, they insist they're going to go on with the protest regardless of the decision of the Ghana Police Service. Now, we've got also some individuals that have been talking. Now, Imani have been talking about this very same issue. If you remember, years back, Imani was put in place to actually ensure, to ascertain what it would mean to actually take up that business and make it something worth, providing support for. And nothing actually came out of that. Franklin Kujo has been speaking on that issue, and he insists that the NPP government, who has touted to be doing the 1D1 factory, could have actually taken this up and spent a minimum of over 40 million to ensure that this factory was operational. But of course, it never happened. And this is where we are right now. Murtala Mohammed, who was also the deputy former Minister for Trade, has also been speaking about the issue, and he's blaming the NPP as well. And we'll also be looking at the Trade Ministry Committee in Finance. They have also, Yusuf has also been talking about, this is a ranking member. He's also been talking about this whole issue. And so there are a lot of things going on with the Komenda Sugar Factory and the lease to the Indians in 15 to 20 years. The amount of money we have been actually starting to make, people still believe that it is not possible. Or we might even make that money and not put it in good use. But the KT Hammond, the trade minister, still insists it is the best way to go. This morning in the studio, I've been joined by my brothers who actually always help us do this here on this very show. And let's say a big thank you to Franco Trading Enterprise for that. Fad Osman is joining us, communications team member for the NPP. It's been a while, bro. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well, my brother.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
A lot of money in the pocket?
Well, I believe the system it's taking...
It's getting better?
It's getting better. We do admit to that there are challenges, and it's getting...
I'm not admitting to that. I'm just asking.
We're all admitting to that as Ghanaians. And then as yesterday, the Minister for Finance, if you remember, there was this town hall meeting that happened in Greater Accra.
Yeah.
One of the series of activities that government intend to roll out in informing the goodwill of this country, what this government has achieved so far, the challenges at hand, and the successes chopped so far. I believe it was important yesterday. And I believe one issue that stood out yesterday was when the finance minister apologized to the good people of this country for the difficult ride we had to take them through. That's the domestic debt restructuring. He made an apology to Ghanaians that it was a very difficult situation. But then it was never a deliberate attempt by government to take Ghanaians through that difficult path we had to take them through. And this morning, I want to re-emphasize and re-echo his words. We duly apologize to Ghanaians for the difficulties we had to take them through with that particular program. But then we also want to thank the Ghanaians that we came to them, asking them to join us on this ride. They duly joined us. And to be very honest, if you look at the indications of our economy, things are getting better.
So the NPP is on an apology spree? That's what we're doing
as
now.
A minister for finance, as a minister
there
for
has
finance,
been constant
yesterday
decisions that have been made that deserve an apology.
As a government,
this time that we want to be doing the apology.
As a government, it is important that when things get wrong, you need to admit.
But that was long ago.
No, wrong ago. When President Akufo-Addo, if you remember very well, when President Akufo-Addo engaged Ghanaians during the COVID period, that's the Sunday weekly reviews or press briefings. If you remember very well, fellow Ghanaians, the famous fellow Ghanaians period, you remember very well that he told Ghanaians that what we can do, we cannot do to bring back lives, right? But then we can do everything possible to bring back our economy to life again. So it was a clear admission, as at that time, that things were going to get rough. A clear admission. After that particular pronouncement.
That was under the circumstances.
No, and the circumstances still
stand. Not what we're seeing beyond COVID-19.
You see, beyond COVID-19 will be an impact that will be left on your economy by COVID-19. Do you get the point? So it is only fair, as a government, where we are seeking another mandate, to also speak to Ghanaians this morning.
And apologize to them.
Okay. It was a very difficult and very painful ride we had to take them through, just like the minister said yesterday. And I think we also want to commend Ghanaians for the sacrifices they made together with this government, they made together with all Ghanaians to take us through that dark days, today we are on the path of some good news. We've seen some good successes. As he indicated yesterday in his briefing, he stated that if you look at our international reserves, one of the key components in determining in building your currency, that's one of the major determinants in building your currency, that's your international reserves. As of 2016, we're doing $8.1 billion. That's 2.5 import month cover. As we speak today, we are doing $8.6 billion. That's 3 months import cover. We are projecting $10 billion by the end of the year. These are the projections. Okay, and look at all the indicators. All right, it looks very good. So it is only good. It is only fair this morning. We apologize to Ghanaians. Okay. And also commend them.
It's the apology that we need. And that's all.
Commend Ghanaians for staying with this administration and keeping us through this difficult time.
Very well. Fad Osman is representing the NPP. And I also have in the studio Adele Ibn Sheikh Omar Ibrahim joining us from the NHC Communications team, and is also the Director of Operations, Greater Accra Youth Wing. For the NDC, and he's joining us this morning as well. But don't forget that it's all about quick cash, and we're giving you enough money to actually take away today from 1,000 Ghana cedis and above. We're giving you all of that. All you need to do is to just play *281#, and you're good to go. All right. The option you need to choose, by the way, is option 7, and you can play from 5 cities and above and win some money for yourselves. A lot of people out there have won so much, and the last 2 weeks that we started, people are winning a lot of money. You can also win, and all you have to do is to just play. And the more you play, the more it increases your chances of winning. All right. So I'll be doing one of the draws over here. It's *281#, *281#. By the time I close this segment, I'm sure I'm going to be giving some money to some individuals over there who are currently tuning and playing. All right. So just keep playing. Just keep playing. Now, let me get to introduce my next guest in the studio. Of course, Adele is in here with me. Adele, good morning, bro. How are you doing?
Good morning, KMJ. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing very okay. I'd like to extend a warm greetings to the National Chief Imam, Alhaji Osman Nuhu Sharbutu. This morning, it is to say thank him for all the sacrifices he's doing for the entirety of Ghana in the Muslim community. Yeah. My dad, Sheikh Umar Ibrahim, for the sacrifices that he's also done, for the nation and the Muslim community. May Allah leave us together. The former President, John Dramani Mahama, is currently touring the northern side of Ghana, and you can see the videos. It's quite exciting. I've watched a couple of them, and his message is basically clear. That in as much as some apologies are coming and all of that, we are waiting for them to come, because we know they will be bringing our monies, they will be bringing it very soon. So as and when the money comes, we'll take the money and then we'll teach them a lesson, like we did in Asen North. Everywhere they pass, 200 Ghana, 100 Ghana, 300 Ghana, 400 Ghana. And
the former president says that when they bring the money, they should take it.
Yeah, we'll take the money. I mean, obviously we have to take the money. It's our money, KMG. Like this is the time. This is the time to actually get some compensation for everything. Apology is not enough. In fact, we would have a problem with them if they don't bring the money. We would have a major problem.
People to be taking monies to vote for people. Something we've been trying to stop.
KMJ, the money will come. The money, it will come.
But it's a good thing.
Whether you say, I'm coming. Whether you say, take the money, don't take the money, we will take the money. I am telling you on authority that, listen, we are waiting. So, last week I was sitting down and I was thinking, I was like, if I could actually do plastic surgery and change my face, I'll go to every constituency. This is the time to enrich the pocket a little bit. This is the time to get some money to pay rent.
Still make an honest decision.
Yes, and still
not an influence decision.
No,
because you're taking money to go and vote.
I am taking the money from the MPP. I am taking the money from the president. I'm taking the money from them. When I am
done, that would influence your decision.
No.
You've been paid to go and vote.
This is why it won't influence my decision. First off, they have ripped us off. They have piled up so much funds, some under the bed, some under the carpet, some in poly tanks, some in water closet basins. You understand what I'm saying? And they are rubber money, they are water closet in toilet seat, no be so no they should put it inside. They will bring these monies to us. They will take just a little bit of it, come and say, take 200 Ghana, go and vote. Assuming that Sebi, we've given them an example. I said Central. You saw the videos after I said Central, right? I said no. Immediately after the elections, people were coming out, they are just going, hey, we've taken the money. We will take the money these elections. Like, I'm so excited. We're waiting for the time. Like, it's getting closer. The more it's getting closer, the more excited I am. I'm starting to make bills, you know? We're putting now our budgets and our expenditure. Yeah, in fact, you should make it more. And if they don't bring it, we'll sue them for not bringing the money.
All right. All right. Adele joining us this morning as well. You can also join us. WhatsApp line is active. Send your messages over there. I'll be reading them. And we're talking about the Komenda Sugar Factory and the state in which it is right now. As it stands right now, we're still not making it functional, and we're still spending some money to keep it workers to ensure that they are greasing, according to the trade minister, you're greasing the machines over there to keep them in good condition before eventually the Indian firm, Watco, actually takes over. But the residents over there are protesting. Next week, they're going to go on protest to ensure that that does not happen. Now, the NDC is also insisting that they will not allow anything of the sort to happen. In fact, Yusuf, who happens to be a ranking member for the Trade Ministry in Parliament, actually stated that if the NPP, I beg your pardon, do not do the necessary due diligence and they actually make this happen, when they come back and they feel it is something they have to abrogate, they will do exactly so. And they don't want anybody coming to ask them questions when they begin to actually do that. But let's start off. Adele, and probably, Fad, let me just begin with you. We had one district, one factory, which was touted to be one of the biggest in terms of campaign for the NPP. Now, one of the places that a lot of people were expecting that would have had a turnaround was the Komenda Sugar Factory. In fact, Franklin Kujo-Vimani spoke about it and insisted that if an NPP was saying that this is what they want to do in terms of reviving factories, then the first place they could have gone and even spend a minimal of over 40 million was just going to Komenda Sugar Factory. But yet, nothing happened to it. After everything that he said, have you disappointed the people of Komenda?
Thank you very much, my brother. I believe we had an opportunity to seek the mandate of the goodwill of Ghana in the 2016 elections. And we had the opportunity to form government in 2017. When we took over in 2017, Komenda Sugar Factory was one of the institutions or one of the organizations we paid key attention to its operations prior to elections 2016. If you remember, we saw some sugars on the market in some bottles and gel, right? That these sugars
some farmers were actually asked to start planting sugar cane because they were going to be useful.
Very good. It's true. We saw the sugars out there.
The same farmers are now crying because your government will get them. Indian firm.
But then when we took over, we came to realize after some audit services had gone into the factory, we came to realize that a factory that cost this country an amount of $36 million, after audits being done on the factory, we realized that you can only value it at $60 million. So it tells you that $20 million had gone waste through whatever means we can tell. So it became necessary that we had to look out for strategic investors, just like you indicated. Government one district, one factory policy was stated in our 2016 manifesto as a policy that government is going to collaborate with the private sector. It was not stated that government was going to set up factories on its own as a government, but to collaborate with the private sector in setting up factories across the country, taking into considerations resource potentials of those areas or those catchment areas in concern. So if you pick this particular situation of the Komenda Sugar Factory, it became necessary that government looks out for a strategic investor to come and invest monies into the operations of Komenda Sugar Factory and make it operational. And with that, there's this factory, that's the West Africa Agro Limited.
Yeah, Watco.
Watco, very good, which has shown interest in the operations of Komenda Sugar Factory. Yes, there are some concerns out there that sugarcane farmers are worried that per the arrangement, they will not be taking raw materials from them, but then to be imported from India for other further processing. This is the issue. You see, if you pick the sugarcane or sugar factory, manufacturing plant at Komenda Sugar Factory, it has 3 units, 3 separate units. One are the upstream, and the other and the downstream. The upstream deals with the sugar mill. You get the point? Which takes sugarcane as raw materials, whilst the sugar refinery takes in raw sugar as raw materials. Do you get the point? As inputs for production or for processing. So it is important that in the early stages of their operations, they need raw sugar, not raw sugarcane. Do you get the point? So the farmers in Komenda should not be worried at all. Should never be worried. They should never be worried that their materials will not be considered in the factory of Komenda Sugar.
Why shouldn't they be worried?
The concern is that I've given you the 2 components of the factory. We have the sugar mill.
We have the sugar mill. Then it means that whoever that is communicating to them is not doing a good job.
We have the sugar mill. Then we have the sugar refinery. Do you get the point? The sugar mill takes sugar cane as raw materials, while the sugar refinery takes sugar as a raw material. Do you get the point? So look at the whole process. So if you pick the sugar cane, it has to go through the sugar mill to get the raw sugar. Then you refine it with the next component or the next unit, which you get the sugar. So in the early stages of the operations of the new strategic partner, they are indicating that they are going to outsource their raw materials globally, which is the raw sugar, for further processing. That is the program. There should not, I mean, I'm saying this with the greatest of respect and in honesty to them. That I've seen their messages, I've seen the videos and the concerns in their faces. I believe somebody is misinforming them on this particular arrangement. The truth of the matter.
And who's supposed to be telling the truth? Isn't it supposed to be?
I believe one of among the issues they are asking government to do is to have engagement with them. I think that's very fair. The trade ministry has to engage them on this particular program, inform them so well on the program. Because as I've outlined here before you, we have the sugar refinery and the sugar mill, which they are aware that the sugar mill will definitely take their sugar canes as raw materials. But the sugar refinery will need, at these early stages, will need some raw sugar for further processing. That is why it is being stated that they will be outsourcing it.
So you mean global sources. You mean to say this leasing is justified with what you're saying?
You see,
that it's okay that we need to give this to the Indians?
We've gotten to a point where we need to look into our faces and be very honest.
That we are incapable as a nation?
You see, it is not Indians, strategic partners. Strategic partners. So what's the big deal?
It's an Indian firm at the end of the day.
So what's the big deal? If they're coming with the competence, the capacity, that's what we are all talking of, right? If they're coming in with the capacity and the competence and what is required to run the factory, what should be the problem?
We don't have the capacity to run the...
I've never said that. I've never said that.
Over 52 million. That banks,
wow.
About 3 banks have given us.
Wow.
There was a 36, yes, there was a 36 million, there was a 6 million. That has been taken from banks. And that's about 52 million that was supposed to have been injected into this. So we're saying that we can't do so. We need a foreigner to come and take over for 15 to 20 years to be able to achieve this.
Please.
Are we then capable?
The moment you sound like we need a foreigner, then you've taken the whole discussion out.
But that's the concerns of Ghanaians out there.
No, the concerns of the farmers.
To an Indian firm.
So that's the problem. So that's the problem. You see, I'm very happy this issue has just come up immediately after the famous Senate hotel issues, right? Where we had Ghanaian businessmen who showed interest in running such institutions. We also we had what happened in this country.
We all knew what exactly was happening.
So my brother, in this space, we are looking for a strategic partner who comes in with some expertise, some competence, some capacity in running this institution for us. So please, let's not create the impression that it is an Indian organization that we are gifting out. Please, let's not do that. The moment we create the impression that we are gifting it out to an Indian organization, we end up just how do I put it?
Nobody's saying so. I mean,
but then per the narrative you've given,
because the trade ministry has not been able to give us details of what this leasing is all about.
I think
all they keep saying is it belongs to Ghana 100%, but we're leasing it to a company in India for 15 to 20 years. What's the details in the leasing?
So I think
he mentioned that we stand to gain about $1 million every year.
Very good.
Beyond
I think
what is the details in this leasing?
The concerns are very simple.
This is legit concern by Ghanaians.
Now let's not create the narrative that it's because we're giving it out to an Indian firm, we are gifting it out. No. But I think the concerns you've outlined so far are very legitimate. I believe the minister has the responsibility to update Ghanaians on the details of this arrangement.
Exactly.
Perfectly well. Nobody's running away from that. Because in the spirit of transparency and accountability, we owe it to the good people of this nation to explain the details of this arrangement to them. I believe in that. But the issue out there concerning demonstrations by the residents and
protests.
And their concerns are that the sugar canes will not be considered in the processes of this particular organization. It's not right, it's not accurate, it's false. As I've indicated, within the first early stages of manufacturing, the Komenda Sugar Factory will need a raw sugar, which we don't have in our locality here. Do you get the point? And this raw sugar, our first phase of processing the sugar canes. We don't have such raw materials in our jurisdiction. So they'll have to import it into the country and add up or further processes into the sugar. Do you get the point? But with time goes on, when they start running the sugar mill, that's where they will be needing the sugar canes, which is part of the arrangement. So the farmers out there should never be worried that this new arrangement is going to take them out and it's going to render them jobless, because per the concerns I've heard so far, the fear is that if you are bringing in an investor who is going to import in raw materials like brown sugar from other jurisdictions to further processes them, it becomes worry to them. And I think it is a very fair concern. It becomes worrying to everybody. But the truth of the matter is that in the early stages of the organization, as I've outlined, this is what they'll be doing.
Okay, fine.
Until sugar canes are ready and until the sugar mill becomes operational, they will have to get the brown sugar or the raw sugar from other jurisdictions, be it anywhere around the world, to process them into sugar and help create other employment. And also, lastly, you see, in this country, we've been complaining over the years. If you pick our import on sugar, we've been complaining. I think there's an opportunity to deal with this particular challenge and also give some leverage or boost our local economy and add some strength to our local currency, which is very significant. So I think we should all look at the positives of this particular arrangement. You see, in this country, President Kufuor...
Fad, no, I'm going to come back to you. I'm going to come back to you again. Let me let Ades also have his take on that. The NDC thinks that this is something that we have to negotiate well. If not, if they come to power, they're going to abrogate it if the need be.
Okay. Allow me to start from here. You see, the whole idea the MPP touted about one district, one factory was that they wanted to solve two problems. One of the problems is to solve the issue of unemployment. And the other problem is to solve the issue of our currency depreciation. Why our currency depreciation? Because when you have to gather all the dollars that you have in the system to go and import crude, to go and import sugar, to go and import oil, bring in some rice, what you end up doing is that the scarcity of dollars in the system automatically makes your city depreciate. Because when it is scarce, it is expensive to buy it. When it is in abundance, it is easier and cheaper to get it. So their solution was that we're going to do what is called one district, one factory. Brilliant ideas, beautiful idea. Then we quizzed them. We said, okay, so one district, one factory, how is that going to be like? Are you going to identify? They said, oh, wait, you know, that time they came up with a map, this circular map, 360, that indicated what is being, what can be produced in what district and blah, blah, blah. We told them, listen, it is not, what you're saying, it is not visible. But of course, they insisted. One would wonder that for a government who had this intention and had this initiative in place, when you assume power, the first thing you ought to do is to first look at the government businesses, the government companies that have actually already been already existing, and then whatever monies you have decided to pump into one district, one factory, you start from there. Then they dropped it, and I'll tell you why they dropped it. Then they dropped it, and when they dropped it, they went looking for other companies. Oh, B5, an existing company that is to produce nails. Then they pass there, and then they just go there and look at them, and then they give them something small, and then you see one district, one factory. Last week I was coming from in Sawam, and then I saw one factory on the left side. I think they produce water or something. You see it boldly written there, one district, one factory, and then they abandoned this. Let me tell you why they abandoned it. They abandoned it because their intention was to devalue it and sell it. KMJ, he started by saying that Komenda Sugar Factory was valued at 34 million, dollars. And then when he came to power and the evaluation was done, it came down to $60 million and blah, blah, blah. Did you know that the same company that did the valuation in 2016 was the same company that did the valuation in 2017? Do you know that it was ridiculous in every sense for Price Cooper House to do evaluation of Komenda Sugar Factory in 2016, which is around 17th October 2016, and then by 15th of September 2017, which is barely less than a year, okay, come and tell you that all the machines that are in there have depreciated by close to about almost 60% or 70%. It doesn't make any sense. Do you know why? Because there is an average depreciation rate which is accepted worldwide between 5 to 10%. So the question you're asking is that, how is it that the same Price Waterhouse, who did evaluation of the same project just a year after that, now comes back to tell you, the same company now comes back to tell you that, oh, the valuation that we did, perhaps last year, was flawed. It doesn't make any sense. But the intention was to sell it. Then we made noise at the time that if it would devalue within a year, it does. Look, KMJ, this laptop, this laptop, okay? This laptop, if we're to value it right now, as it is today, yours, yes, if we're to value it right now, 1 year from now, if this thing is 4,000 Ghana cedis, 1 year from now, you can't tell me it's 500 Ghana cedis. It doesn't make any sense. So for you to say Price Water, okay, did evaluation, pegged it at $34 million, and then all of a sudden, after 1 year, comes back and say that, oh, we went to do valuation again, but now it is 16. It tells you that something is wrong, because standard-wise, it doesn't even make any sense. Again, when we made the noise at the time, then they now came back and came to sit down. And then they left it to continue to rot. Can you imagine that today, some few months to elections, now we're saying, oh, we're going to outsell, we're giving it out, we're giving it to a company out. When we started, we told them when they came to power, we said, look, do something about this. Do you know why? Because it's going to create employment. It is also going to do what is called import substitution. And when import substitution happens, you get to reduce your funds. KMJ, see, wisdom is not common. You need to sit down and really think about things to solve issues. The NDC under us went on the import substitution drive. Why? Because we had a major problem with Dumsor. Taxes were not coming. So we needed to solve a problem immediately. This is how we were able to solve and manage the currency at 4.2. Despite the fact that for 3 years, people were not having lights, companies were struggling, taxes were not coming, oil prices had dropped in the international market, crude prices had gone down, gold prices had gone down. You have all these companies like Famol Ghana who were not able to produce the quantities they used to produce. Why? Because they don't have electricity. And even the raw materials they have to bring, they have to reduce it, because if they bring in too much to produce, it will be a problem. So even taxes you're getting from the port had reduced. We had to do this to be able to still manage your dollar at 4.2. Then today, when they come and they want to talk, they go like, oh, but the MPP, the amount of money they borrowed and the amount of money the NDC borrowed, it is the same money. Here's what the difference is. Under John Dramani Mahama, he was able to manage the dollar so much such that if you borrowed $1,000, all you needed to do is raise $4,200 to pay your debt. Under you, when you borrow $1,000, now you have to go and look for 16,000 Ghana cedis to pay the same $1,000. That's the problem. That's the difference.
But did the NDC manage the Komenda factory better?
Let me tell you something. Here's what happened. PMJ, you want to ref house. You want to ref house. You say, oh, I've decided that I want to bring in day-old chicks. Day-old chicks. So you decide that you're going to buy blocks. You bought the blocks, you bought everything, you put them down. You started putting up the structure. In fact, you haven't gotten anywhere, you're just digging the foundation. KMJ, do you go and bring the day-old chick and come and put them down outside while you're building the structure so that when you finish, you now put them in the structure? Is that what you do? No, I want to engage you. No. What do? You build it first, right?
Yeah.
Their argument at the time was that, why haven't we planted sugarcane? Sugarcane takes 3 months. Building of companies, building Komenda Sugar Factory needed years. Why will I go and plant sugarcane, which takes 3 months, and it will be ready and lying down, while the factory is being built, which will take over a year? So my sugarcane is ready and it's lying down, and I'm sitting there waiting for the factory to be ready. Why won't you build the factory? See to it that the factory is stabilized. We had secured lands at the time. In fact, before the factory got to the end of it, then we said, okay, you guys can now start preparing some sugarcane. We had some sugarcane that we actually produced. We made a test run. Where is all this argument coming from? Okay, KMJ, let's say that the NDC managed it poorly. Let's say the NDC didn't know what to do. You said you had all the wisdom. You're coming to do one district, one factory. You're coming to do blah, blah, blah. You have everything. The people of Ghana said, hey, Mahama, you don't know what you are doing. Sit aside. Let's give it to MPP. You've come to government. You've come to sit down on that same Komenda Sugar Factory for getting to almost 7 years. You're almost about going home. Now you want to give it out, you want to outsource it. The people in the communities are telling you, what are you doing? This was not the original plan from the NDC. The NDC gave an opportunity for our people to plant sugar cane. You're not doing that. It is only germane that if you're sitting here, at the time, unemployment was 8.4. Today, unemployment is 14, going to 15. You're still sitting here, and you're cutting corners. You're still sitting here, and you're looking for ways to make money. You know, every opportunity you have to make money. Look at what is happening with Sagleme housing project. And they say they are looking for somebody else to come and take it over. You have pumped in $50 million in National Cathedral. $50 million, KMJ. You Ponzified God. You are the people who were able to Ponzify. They Ponzified God himself. Do you know what it takes for someone to be able to do God Ponzi? Do you know what it takes? Like, you have to have a certain level
So
my argument...
They are all to blame for the Komenda factory.
How is that? We lost power.
Right now.
We lost power. How is that? We lost power. Government is continuing. We lost power.
So you want to blame
the
NPP for not
I'm saying, KMJ, the first thing they did was to do an audit. To come and say this is what the money was. We say that there's a problem with that because it doesn't meet international standards. It doesn't even make sense. In fact, it is an indictment on Price Cooper. It's an indictment on them. Assuming it was Price Cooper who came to do 34 million, and a different company came to say that, oh no, it is not 34 million. However, it's actually 12 million or 16 million. Then we'll say that with the initial company, perhaps inflated the prices, something happened. But the same company goes to do it and comes back to tell you that, no, this is the new price. It doesn't even make any sense. No. So we even indicated at the time that this document may not be authentic. That was what we said at the time. You understand what I'm saying? But because Price Water did not speak to it, we kept our peace. You understand what I'm saying? So my argument is that, again, KMJ, if somebody has caused any financial loss to the state, you've been in government for 7 years. You say Komenda Sugar Factory, somebody did this, and then we have done that, and we have done this, blah, 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 no problem. You have left it to lie down for 7 years. Now you're giving it up. What wisdom did you bring to the table? What was your solution when you were coming to power? How do you say I'm doing one district, one factory, and then when you're given the opportunity, you see a factory and then you abandon it? Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to be getting some messages from our viewers as well, and also get back to the other issues that we'll be talking about. This morning, we'll also be looking at the issue of the protest, the anti-immigrant protest in the UK. We'll take a look at that as well. And if A Plus is able to also join us this morning, he's spoken about what he's been able to do in a year, which the president currently has not been able to do that, even when he was not a president yet. And so we're going to be looking at that conversation as well. But let me try and read some of the messages that you've sent to us. This morning, this one over here says that, good morning, KMJ. What kind of apologies? Some people died, others seriously sick and cannot buy medicine, and you now know where we are getting closer to election that you are bringing apologies. The harm has already been done to Ghanaians. They have already decided no amount of apologies can change their pains and suffering. NAPCO trainees arrears, 9 months over 3 years, not even paid, and you're apologizing for what? Who has failed his duty? This one over here says that, good morning, good morning, host. Please, can you please ask the NPP rep when the president said the factory was going to be in operation latest first quarter of 2022? Did he mention giving it to some Indian investors? That's the question that you're asking right now. This one over here says that, okay, so that's from Francis in Komenda. It says, good morning, boss, host, and to your guests, especially Comrade Abel. This Nana Addo Bawumia government has now very much incompetent. They have plunged the Ghanaians into unbearable hardship, so they have apologized. They will go to opposition to learn how to govern. And that's a message coming all the way from Komenda. Another one over here says, good morning, KMJ. If it is expertise needed for the Komenda Sugar Factory, why can't we send Ghanaians somewhere to train? Why do we give strategic resources to foreigners? Second point, for how long are they going to import the raw sugar for processing? A foreigner investing in Ghana will take their money out of Ghana in dollars. This is one of the causes of the pressure on the city. And then it says it's sad that our key resources are frequently given to foreigners. Please, let's invest in Ghanaians. That's also coming all the way from our viewers. Now, let me go to this one over here, and it says that that's a very long one, but I want to believe it's repeated itself. It says, KMJ Akufo-Addo is the only president who is divisive and has tried to rewrite Ghana's history by adding J.B. Dankwa's name as one of the Ghana's founders. Akufo-Addo has changed the school curriculum by adding J.B. Dankwa's name as the founder to confuse and deceive the school children. KMJ, the apology from the NPP is not sincere and must be rejected by all meaningful Ghanaians and vote massively against Bawumia in 2024 general elections. Akufo-Addo as the most corrupt president and the mother of serpent of all corruption. Good morning to you and your panelists. That's Charles in Charles Champon sent in that one as well. Is it not amazing that the NDC are also talking about Komenda Sugar Factory after they deceived the people of Komenda in an election year by forcing to commission a factory that was not fit for full operations, but claimed that it is ready for full operations. Today, they are shifting the goalpost. Regards to Nana Amma Dokuya, incoming MP for Kaikwe North, and that's Master Planner Junior in Kintampo, sent in that. This one over here says, with all our education, we cannot do anything. Leasing Komenda Factory, Sugar Factory, selling Snake Hotels, sold Ghana Telecom, so we cannot manage anything in this country. If we have the men group is doing this to Ghana, God have mercy, shame on us. And Patrick in Accra sent in that. So let me go to this one over here. It says that KMJ, action they say speaks louder than words. Of course, everything the Japadia book talked about, state looting by this government, is clearly manifesting as we experiencing the way things are unfolding. And it goes, number one, talk about the collapse and capture of the financial space, selling of state properties to themselves, the attempt to capture our almighty ECG through the PDS loot, create and share, and the over 1 billion Ghana cities chop, light bill collected, our glorious La Beach Hotel, Hotel, etc. In any case, I didn't see the Ochene attribute state capture to the Ochemsa, whilst as a particular group of personalities were clearly linked to this state capture syndrome, who the CAFEX let them wear it. Ghanaians are now wild. Honorable Siba Alassan, Zongo Caucus coordinator, Lower Manya constituency, sent in that one. Let me go to another one over here. This one over here says, good morning, KMJ. Komenda Sugar Factory was built by the NDC government. Unfortunately, due to their incompetence, the factory collapsed under their watch. Today, the MPP government is putting the factory back to operation, and the very people who collapsed it are complaining about how it should be run. What stopped them from making the factory work? NDC never again. K. Frimpong sent in that one. This one says, from Honorable Akesime in Seshibakwa, says, good morning, KMJ. Regards to Honorable Kofi Bente Afo, NDC parliamentary candidate for Seshibakwa. Also, I'm perplexed by President Nanado's attempt to alter the narrative for Founders Day. It's clear to all Ghanaians that the true founder of our nation is Kwame Nkrumah. By trying to include his family members in the founder's story, Nanado is distorting history. All right. The next one over here, let me see. It says that you can't possibly tell me President Nana-Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo hates Nkrumah after renovating the Nkrumah Museum in a state-of-the-art mausoleum, which the NDC under late Professor Mills and Mahama couldn't afford to renovate for show of respect to the person they think they love than anyone in this country. The Mahama and the NDC can at least situate the argument well and stop the Malam attack market commentary. It is possible. Abdulaziz Jimbani sent in that one. Let me go to Mensa Majid is from Bechem, Toronto, and it says, my regards to Honorable Charles Sakwasi, Siedu, incoming MP for Tano South constituency. Adeluma is exposing the emptiness of this government. I'm always happy to watch him dissecting issues, and may Allah continue to guide and protect him. This government has borrowed more than any government, and they have misused our money more than any government. Dr. Baumia touted himself as an economic messiah, not knowing his bookish economics. The economy is in shambles, and we need a change, and the change is JDM. Let's vote massively for JDM on December 7th. And I'll do the last one over here, possibly, and then we'll get to more other issues. Now, it says, good morning, sir. We cannot be scammed by the crocodile tears from the NPP after 8 years of reckless leadership. Ghana is bankrupt, not because of Corona or Russian war, but due to abuse of power, massive corruption, indiscipline, mismanagement, nuisance taxes, the opulent lifestyles of leaders who squander our resources on their over-bloated appointees, flying luxury jets and throwing kinky parties with careless abandon. It says, apology or no apology, NPP must go because they don't deserve another mandate from the victims of the oppressive rule and exploitation. MPP never again. Powerly, a citizen not expected and sent in that one. It says the Japadia book is no fiction but the manifesto of the Achim Mafia being rolled out practically in line with their Yemen agenda. Japadia is a reality and a true state of affairs of the looting brigade who grab everything, including state funds, bungalows, properties, and forest reserves for themselves, their family and friends. May God save us from these new colonialist and nation wreckers. All right.